10 startling facts about the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. Approximately 66 million years ago, the Earth encountered its most daunting obstacle. The 6-mile, 9.7-kilometer, wide Chicxulub asteroid that hit Mexico triggered the extinction of the dinosaurs and 75% of all species. But the effects of this event went beyond the death of the dinosaurs. It caused a 2-year-long night, extreme UV radiation levels, and the creation of the Amazon rainforest. Furthermore, there is evidence suggesting that 2 asteroids, not just one, may have been responsible for the cataclysm. Here are 10 frightening facts about the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs. Number 10. A strange global hail. Cenospheres, carbon beads commonly associated with industrial activity, were first noted during the Industrial Revolution. However, a surprise discovery revealed that some cenospheres were 65 million years old. This was a mystery, as there were no power plants burning crude oil or coal at the time. Cenospheres were found in many places around the world, such as New Zealand, Spain, Canada, and Denmark, with a layer of iridium, an element commonly found in asteroids, in each location. This suggests that the cenospheres are linked to the asteroid impact that occurred 65 million years ago. It is believed that when the enormous impact of Chicxulub hit the planet, the force was so powerful that it liquefied the carbon within the Earth's surface. This liquefied material was then ejected into the atmosphere, forming carbon beads. According to estimates by scientists, the total amount of this material that rained down after the impact could be as high as 1.98 quintillion pounds, 900 quadrillion kilograms. Number 9. Instant acid oceans. A 2019 study revealed that prior research was incorrect in its assumption that volcanoes had slowly acidified the ocean waters. In fact, the explosion of sulfuric rocks during the event caused acid rain which rapidly changed the pH levels of the oceans, resulting in disastrous consequences for marine life. Researchers found a large deposit of fossilized shells in the clay that formed after the asteroid impact. These shells, which were once part of tiny plankton, were found to contain the element boron. By using boron as a measure of pH, it was discovered that the water experienced a rapid acidification after the asteroid struck. This caused the death of many species that other sea creatures depended on, leading to the extinction of nearly half of all marine species. Number 8. The bird mystery. For dinosaur enthusiasts keeping up with the latest news, it's widely accepted that modern birds are descendants of non-avian dinosaurs that survived the cataclysm. Yet, when one delves deeper into this subject, there is a noticeable divide among bird experts. In 2018, a team of researchers added fuel to this fire when they suggested that almost no avian species had managed to escape the asteroid impact. Through various methods, this 2018 study attempted to trace the lineages of modern birds, only to conclude that none of them had tree-dwelling ancestors. The post-impact fossils showed not only a significant decrease in forests, but also the absence of fossils for tree-dwelling birds, thus constituting a major habitat loss. The study found evidence that major forest fires occurred following the impact, which would have killed off plants and animals. This idea was consistent with the long-held notion of the effects of the event. It concluded that all living birds today have descended from a small number of ground-dwelling dinosaurs, most likely resembling quails. However, other scientists have disputed this, suggesting that while the northern hemisphere may have experienced complete deforestation, it is less likely that all forests and their birds were wiped out in the south. Number 7. A continental firestorm. The debate regarding the fires associated with the dinosaur-killing asteroid has been ongoing. However, geoscientists from Brazil, Mexico, and the UK recently discovered proof of a firestorm that had occurred directly after the impact, providing more insight into the event. This evidence was startling and has been a crucial piece of the puzzle. In 2022, scientists collected samples of charred bark at a fossil site situated on the Baja California peninsula. Surprisingly, the trees were located 1,500 miles, 2,500 kilometers, away from the impact site, yet they were still engulfed in flames mere minutes after the asteroid struck the Earth. This indicates the occurrence of a devastating firestorm, presumably caused by a fireball or a deluge of scorching debris. Number 6. 6-month-long mega-earthquake. In 2014, researchers on Gorgonilla Island, near Colombia, discovered an intriguing consequence of the Chicxulub impact: spherular deposits. These layers of sand contain glass beads and shards, which were created when the asteroid slammed into Earth's crust with such force that it caused the soil to melt and the resulting materials to be dispersed into the atmosphere. The melted materials then fell back to the surface as glass blobs. The duration of the earthquake caused by the asteroid is unknown, But based on the fact that the spherules from the glass shower had managed to reach the ocean floor, it is likely that it lasted for an extended period of time. Scientists have theorized that the earthquake may have continued for several minutes or even hours, depending on the size and magnitude of the asteroid. Experts now believe that the mega-earthquake was an immense force, lasting for weeks and even months. Evidence of destruction was found in Mexico and multiple locations in the US. The magnitude of energy released was estimated at 1,023 joules, equaling roughly 50,000 times more than the 9.1 Sumatra earthquake of 2004. Number 5. Freezing weather for years. For many years, specialists have been aware that the climate of Earth cooled after the asteroid struck. This was caused by the large amounts of carbon dioxide and sulfur that were blasted into the air by the force of the collision. But in 2017, new research revealed that the event released much more sulfur than originally thought. This came about due to the fact that the angle of the asteroid strike had been miscalculated. Previously, it was believed the asteroid hit the Earth at a 90-degree angle, when in reality it was closer to 60. This revised angle would have released around 325 gigatons of sulfur into the atmosphere, up to 3 times more than previously believed. This higher volume of sulfur may have been the cause of the extreme cold that followed the impact, as previous studies had shown that the amount of gases in the atmosphere would have caused temperatures to dip below freezing for at least 3 years. It is likely, then, that the actual effects were even worse. Number 4. Darkness and lethal UV. The asteroid impact triggered fires which released a massive amount of soot into the atmosphere. According to a 2017 study, this soot cloud had devastating effects on the planet. The soot particles stayed airborne for a long period of time, causing the world to become dark for up to 2 years. This darkness disrupted photosynthesis on both land and sea, resulting in the death of plants and animals that depended on them. It also caused Earth's temperatures to drop and the upper atmosphere to become warmed, leading to the destruction of the ozone layer. Once the soot disappeared, the missing ozone layer allowed harmful doses of ultraviolet light to reach the surface and the survivors. Number 3. It created the Amazon forest. If the Chicxulub asteroid had not hit Earth, the Amazon rainforest would not exist today. This was the finding of a 12-year-long study published in 2012, which examined 53 sites across Colombia, 6,000 fossil leaves, and 50,000 grains of fossil pollen. The results showed that before the impact, South American forests were dominated by conifers and ferns, but the asteroid's arrival caused a fire that wiped out nearly half of the continent's plants. It took 6 million years for the forest to recover, with legumes as the first plants to appear. These legumes enriched the soil with nitrogen, allowing for the growth of flowering plants and eventually the Amazon rainforest. As such, the Amazon rainforest is now the world's most diverse environment, teeming with incredible ecosystems, animals, and human history. Number 2. The world's worst tsunami. The Indian Ocean tsunami of 2004 paled in comparison to the wave generated by the asteroid that impacted Mexico, as evidence has suggested that its initial energy was 30,000 times greater. In 2022, a simulation was conducted to map the path of this devastating wave. 10 minutes after the strike, a tsunami was generated with height of 1 mile, traveling outward in all directions, eradicating the ocean floor. By the first hour, it left the Gulf of Mexico and entered the North Atlantic. At the 4-hour mark, the waves moved through the Central American Seaway and entered the Pacific. At 24 hours, the tsunami had covered most of the Pacific, from the east, and the majority of the Atlantic, from the west. The Indian Ocean was inundated from both sides. 48 hours after the impact, the tsunami flooded most of the world's shorelines, making it the worst tsunami in recorded history. Number 1. 2 asteroids, not 1. In 2020, researchers mapping the seafloor near the Nader seamount volcano discovered a feature that resembled an asteroid impact. Dubbed Nader, it was 6 miles, 10 kilometers, wide and located on the Guinea Plateau, west of Africa. While it qualified as a genuine asteroid crater, its age and location were what prompted the most excitement. It was the same age as Chicxulub and the 2 craters were separated by the Atlantic Ocean. This led to the question of whether the extinction of the dinosaurs was caused by 2 simultaneous asteroid strikes. Further research is needed to answer this, but simulations of the effects of the smaller Nader, which had a diameter of 0.24 miles, 400 meters, showed that when it struck the shallow waters of the Guinea Plateau, it instantly vaporized. It created a column of water almost half a mile, 800 meters, thick, a fireball visible from miles away, underwater landslides, tsunamis, shock waves equivalent to a magnitude 7 earthquake, and an air blast bigger than anything in recorded history.